A young woman spends Christmas with her family only to realize she has been emotionally neglected for years, overshadowed by her spoiled sister. This moment forces her to cut emotional ties, set boundaries, build her own independence, heal through therapy and new passions, and ultimately return to confront her family with strength, choosing self-worth over approval. Christmas Eve smells like cinnamon and expensive perfume in my parents' house. The kind of warmth that looks cozy in photos, but feels like glass against the skin. I'm sitting on the sofa like a careful guest, not a daughter. A ceramic angel turns slowly on the mantel, halo glinting as if watching Judgment Day unfold. Juliet lounges across the velvet rug, glossy hair flicking like she's in a perfume commercial. Guess who got approved for the Milan extension program? She squeals, waving a gold envelope. Mom claps like she's in an audience. Our star. Dad beams, already calculating the investment like Juliet is a stock that always goes up. I wrap my sweater tighter. Congratulations. My voice is steady. Practiced. Like I'm reading a role I've memorized my whole life. Mom turns to me only long enough to ask, "You're still teaching English, right, honey?" Not what grade. Not how I like it. Not if I'm happy. Just checking I haven't inconveniently changed. The exchange ends before it begins. It always does. Dad clears his throat. Gift time. Juliet tears into her gold bag. Cream-colored leather glows like a halo. Gucci. Instagram dreams. Oh my God. She clutches it to her chest like a baby. You guys spoil me. I already know mine isn't wrapped with bows. I still hope anyway. Hope is a fool with soft hands. I open the envelope. A generic snow scene greeting card. No note. No money. No thought. Just proof. Aunt Carol's eyes widen slightly. She looks away fast. Witness to a crime with no body, no weapon, but a clear victim. I fit my smile in place like it's my work badge. Thank you, I say. They move on before the last syllable lands. Juliet twirls the purse. Dad pours bourbon. Mom adjusts a stocking. The room is alive with conversation that doesn't include me. My chest goes loud. My hands quiet. I'm going to step outside, I manage. No one nods. No one pauses. No one notices I'm already gone. Cold air stings as I crunch across snow toward my car. Christmas carols drift faintly from the house behind me, muffled like distant laughter in a dream you're waking from. I sit in the driver's seat, fingers resting on the wheel, throat thick. Streetlights blur into gold tears on the windshield. When I finally breathe out, it feels like defeat leaving my lungs. It hits then. Not anger. Not shock. Recognition. I am the ghost in my own family story. And ghosts don't get gifts. They get silence. The card sits beside me on the passenger seat. Small. Paper thin. Crushing in its truth. This is the last year I come here hoping. The engine hums to life. I turn away from the glowing house full of glitter and noise and adoration that has never been meant for me. Tonight I don't go home. I drive until the city lights fall behind me and the sky turns into something vast enough to hold the ache in my chest. Tonight, I choose air that belongs to me. And somehow, for the first time in my life, the silence feels like company. The pottery studio smells like wet earth and lavender soap, a scent I've begun to crave the way some people crave comfort food. Every Saturday morning, the wheel waits for me, spinning slow, steady, patient. Miranda, the instructor, leans over my shoulder. Her silver hair brushes her cheek like she's part myth. Clay remembers how you touch it, she says. Even mistakes leave shape. Tell me about it. My hands work the clay, thumbs soft but firm. For years I sharpened myself to fit into a family mold that never wanted me. Now I'm learning softness doesn't mean weakness. My phone buzzes. Mom, glowing on the screen. I turn it face down. The wheel hums beneath my palms. Clay opens like a quiet apology. 6 weeks into therapy. 7 journaling notebooks full. One shelf in my tiny apartment finally filled with books I chose, not ones my dad thought sounded impressive in a living room. I am building a life grain by grain. Later, I sit with a mug of tea, steam curling like new breath. My journal open, pen ready. What would I tell my students about hurt disguised as love? The answer comes without hesitation. Walk away before you disappear. My apartment is small. Radiator clicks. Plants reach toward winter sunlight. And for the first time, it feels like a sanctuary, not a compromise. The world outside is loud with holidays and resolutions. My world is whisper quiet, rooted, rebuilding. Then my phone rings again. Juliet. Against instinct, I answer. Elise? Her voice trembles. Mom says you're avoiding us. I swallow. Once, I would have apologized until my voice bled. I'm taking space, I say simply. She scoffs softly, not cruel, just confused. It's just Christmas. You always get weird. It was never about Christmas. I need a healthier relationship with all of you, I say. Her silence prickles. So you're punishing us? No, Juliet. The truth settles warm in my chest. I'm choosing me. She exhales, annoyed, and hangs up. Old Elise would have cried. This Elise goes back to shaping clay, breath steady. I touch the bowl emerging on the wheel. Imperfect. A little uneven. Beautiful anyway. That night, I fall asleep under my grandmother's quilt, the one Aunt Margaret saved for me. The fabric softens against my cheek like belonging should feel. Earned? No. Given freely. Tomorrow is Monday. My students will rush into my classroom with hopeful eyes and untold stories. The place where I am seen without trying. My alarm glows 6:30 a.m. A life can change in small, almost invisible ways. One boundary. One breath. One refusal to shrink. I am not healed yet. I am not finished. But for the first time in 29 years, I am not waiting for permission to matter. The school courtyard is blanketed in January frost, the kind that turns breath into tiny ghosts drifting away. I stand by the vending machine, sipping lukewarm coffee when Principal Harrington waves me into his office. Elise, close the door. My stomach dips, reflexive panic carved into me from childhood. Did I fail? Did I disappoint? That familiar dread tightens. He slides papers across his desk. Your student feedback. The department wants you to lead the summer writing program. For a moment, I can't speak. Recognition, sincere and pure, blooms in me like a late spring blossom. Are you sure? I whisper. He laughs softly. I've never been more certain. His certainty replaces every hollow holiday compliment I chased like scraps. Walking back down the hallway, students wave, chatter, ask excitedly about their poems. Their eyes see me. Not as a placeholder. Not as background. As someone who matters. Outside, my phone vibrates. Juliet again. I don't pick up. She texts instead. Derek proposed. Family dinner Sunday. Come celebrate? A ghost of my old self reaches, desperate, trained to return when summoned. I do not answer. That night my apartment fills with soft lamplight, my pottery bowl drying on the windowsill, a candle flickering on the counter. The world outside may still see me as the background daughter, but here in this small room, I am the main character. When the phone rings this time, I expect Juliet. Instead, it's Aunt Margaret. Elise, she says gently, your father, well, the firm isn't doing well. Her voice trembles, trying to sound neutral. They're stressed. Money's tight. I lean against my counter. And your mother is scared. Prideful, but scared. Silence sits between us, earned, respectful. Margaret never treated me like lesser. Never minimized my ache. She's calling not to guilt me, but to prepare me. They might come to you, she adds. Of course they will. When I was quiet, I was invisible. Now that I am strong, I am useful. I end the call and wrap my coat around me. Outside, a soft drizzle begins, city lights smearing into watercolor streaks. I walk to the small park near my apartment. Winter branches claw toward the sky, stark, bare, unapologetic in their nakedness. For years, I wanted to bloom where love never watered me. Now I stand stripped but alive, roots deepening in soil I chose. My phone buzzes, a message from Mom. Sunday. Family dinner. Don't disappoint. I stare at the screen, then slip the phone into my pocket unread. I sit on a park bench, raindrops cooling my face. A street violinist plays somewhere nearby, the notes trembling but resilient. Life doesn't just change quietly. Sometimes it cracks open, revealing what must fall away. And sometimes, the fall is the first flight you ever take. By March, I've replaced old habits with rituals that feel like reclamation. Saturday pottery. Sunday hikes. Weeknight dinners with colleagues who laugh easily and care genuinely. Even therapy feels less like triage and more like tuning a life finally playing its own music. Then Juliet calls. I let it go to voicemail. Elise, she sniffles. He left. He proposed and left. I don't know what to do. I close my eyes, forehead against my window. Heartache is never clean, even when the person bleeding once cut you. I text gently. I'm sorry. Therapy helped me. Maybe it could help you too. I'm here tomorrow at noon if you want to talk. A boundary. Not abandonment. Growth doesn't erase empathy. It clarifies it. She sends back a quiet, okay. Thank you. The next day she arrives at my apartment building, barefaced, trembling. Her designer coat looks like armor she no longer knows how to carry. You look happy, she murmurs, voice cracking. It's weird. I'm not used to it. Neither am I, honestly. We sit on my small sofa, the air thick with something unfamiliar a quality. She wrings her hands. I didn't see it, Elise. I didn't want to. I swallow. I don't need apologies wrapped in tears. I need truth spoken plain. You were the favorite. I was the furniture. She flinches. I didn't ask to be. I know. And I didn't know how much it hurt you. I didn't know how to say it. We sit side by side like two children who grew up in the same house, but never in the same family. She whispers, do you hate me? I shake my head. Hate takes energy. I used mine to survive. Her eyes well up. I want to do better. This time, I believe her. Later, I return from the kitchen with tea to find her staring at the framed $2 Christmas card on my shelf. She doesn't touch it. Her voice shakes. That's when you broke, isn't it? No, I say softly. That's when I woke. The kettle whistles behind us, like a cue for the next act of an unfolding truth. Juliet looks small. Human. Not golden. Not chosen. Just flawed. Just frightened. It strikes me then, we were both shaped by the same imbalance. One starved of love. One spoiled out of growth. And both finally hungry for something real. Before she leaves, she asks in a small voice, will you be at Caleb's wedding? Yes. You're coming as the new you, aren't you? Yes, I say, and it feels like stepping into sunlight. Juliet exhales, shakily smiling. Good. I want to meet her. The door closes behind her. I touch the Christmas card gently. It no longer hurts. It confirms who I became. June sunlight spills like honey over the country club lawn the morning of the wedding. Sage dress, simple gold necklace, heels I can actually walk in. I dress like a person who has nothing to prove. Robert's hand in mine is warm, steady. Partnership, not pedestal. Inside, champagne flutes clink, string quartet hums, the civilized chaos of celebration. Then I see them. My parents. Sitting straight-backed, polished, poised the way people do when pretending life hasn't come undone. Mom spots me first. A smile flickers, brittle but hopeful. Elise, darling. Dad rises, voice smooth but stretched thin. We should talk later. Juliet murmured their struggles into reality, investment losses, lifestyle shrinking, pride choking them like a too-tight collar. They look smaller. Not because life humbled them, but because entitlement stopped inflating them. Dinner passes politely. Toasts, laughter, restrained joy. I wait, calm, knowing the storm will knock politely. It does. Dad ushers me to a quiet alcove, Mom trailing like regret personified. Elise, Dad begins, hands clasped, your sister needs help. Rent. Expenses. Just until she's on her feet. Mom nods too fast. Family takes care of family. The old script. The one I used to bleed myself to read. I inhale slowly. I will help in ways that don't harm me. Dad blinks. So, money. No, I say softly. Guidance. Emotional support. Practical steps. But I will not bankroll the lifestyle that harmed us all. Mom's lips tremble. We always did what we thought was right. I place the framed $2 Christmas card gently between us on the table. Mom gasps. This, I say, voice steady, was the truth I didn't want to see. For years, I was the daughter who got scraps while you fed a fantasy. Dad's joy tightens. You provided minimums and expected gratitude for crumbs. My voice doesn't break. It roots. I am not angry anymore. But I am awake. Mom reaches for my hand. We need you. I meet her eyes. You need to learn to need yourselves first. Tears fill her eyes. For the first time, they aren't manipulative. They are frightened. Human. Will you abandon us? She whispers. No, I soften. I will not be what I was. I'm not here to save you. I'm here to stand beside you if you stand too. Dad's voice splinters. I don't know how. My voice gentles. Then learn. Like I did. Silence. Heavy. Sacred. Juliet appears behind them, cheeks flushed. She's right. We all turn. She steps forward steady. I'll get a roommate. I'll budget. Elise helped me. I don't need rescuing. Mom's face shatters in pride and sorrow tangled like vines. Dad lowers his head. We didn't know what we created. You can remake it, I say. Not command. Invitation. The violin swells from the reception. My heart beats slow, steady, free. I walk back toward the music. Toward my life. For the first time, they don't follow. They watch, learning how to see me. A year later, my hands glide over smooth clay in my new home studio, the wheel spinning like a quiet promise. Sunlight spills over shelves of imperfect bowls, each one a marker of becoming. Robert hands me a mug, hand-thrown, slightly crooked, steeped in affection. You ready? Almost. Today is small. Intentional. Coffee, not ceremony. But it matters. I tuck a freshly finished vase into a display box. My first piece going into a gallery downtown. My name on a tag. My fingerprint in a world that once refused to touch me. At noon, Juliet buzzes in downstairs. She arrives with 2 coffees and a giggle that's finally unself-conscious. My roommate snores like a chainsaw, she groans. But we meal prep, and I pay my bills on time, and she breaks into a shy grin. I'm proud of me. So am I. We sit on my balcony, sun warming our knees, basil plants fluttering like tiny green flags of victory. You know, she says softly, you taught me more by leaving than by staying. I nod. Sometimes love is absence that clears the air. My phone pings. A message from Mom. Sunday dinner. Just us. We'll cook. We want to try again. Slowly. No guilt. No expectation. A beginning, not a claim. Dad adds a separate text. Elise, thank you for not giving up on us even when we didn't see you. Learning. Trying. I breathe in the moment like oxygen I earned. Are you going? Juliet asks. Yes, I say. But for me. Not for permission. Not for approval. She smiles into her cup. I like this version of you. Later, when the afternoon quiet settles, I walk to my work table. I lift the framed $2 card from its shelf and hold it to my chest. Not pain anymore. Proof. Proof that I broke the pattern. Proof I planted myself where light could reach. I set it down gently and place beside it a new frame, a photo of me in my classroom, students beaming around me, confetti sprinkled across books and paper stars on the wall. A life I built, seen from the inside out. Evening comes soft and pink. Robert calls from the doorway, ready for dinner? I nod, slipping on my shoes I chose, a life I formed, boundaries that hold steady like spine and steel. As we leave, I whisper toward the quiet apartment, thank you for waiting for me. Not the family. Myself. Outside, the city hums. Lights flicker warm. A new chapter unfolds not through grand declarations, but through steady breath, open palms, and self-belief that no longer trembles. Love that must be earned was never love. Love that grows when you stop begging? That's home. And I finally live there.